Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. The persistent insecurity plaguing Benue and Plateau state in Nigeria has reached a boiling point, necessitating urgent attention and drastic measures. For years, these states have been bedeviled by violent conflicts, banditry, kidnappings, and farmer-herder clashes, resulting in loss of lives, displacement of communities, and economic instability. The situation has become increasingly dire, with citizens living in constant fear and uncertainty. It's another beautiful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. And my name remains Osayiwa Mesale. Today we're discussing insecurity, and we're asking for a call for a state of emergency on Benue and Plateau State. And of course, I have my guest, Emmanuel Ikule. He'll be joining me much later. When we open the phone lines, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. You can also join us via WhatsApp. Just send an add me on WhatsApp. Would add you to the conversation. As always, let me allow you ponder on my quote for today. It says, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribado has promised to deploy more security assets to the state to arrest the renewed wave of attacks in the state, especially the Otukpo axis. And this was from Governor Hyacinth Alia. All right, we'll take a break, right? Let's come back from that break and just check what our news interest is for the day. Stay with me. Thanks for staying with me. So I'll start with the story, oil slum. Trump tariff puts Nigeria's economy at risk. And the CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, says that the ongoing instability in global oil market is negatively impacting Nigeria's economy. He said while falling petroleum products prices may benefit consumers, the broader economic consequences are severe for Nigeria, which heavily relies on oil exports. It says, as consumers, we're happy that the price is coming down, but as a nation, it is not good for our economy because our revenue inflow is also impacted. He stated this, at a Meet the Press briefing series that was organized by the Presidential Communications Team at the Aso Rock Villa. He said, most importantly, what is even destabilizing the market is the inconsistency in the way the U.S. President Donald Trump also sends his policy. He moves today, tomorrow he reverses. So it's been challenging to predict the next level, and that was what he explained. I thought when I had a guest on Friday to discuss this oil price, oil issues, and the guest said that, to discuss the tariffs rather, the guest said that tariffs did not affect the oil commodity, right? So I don't know why Farouk is saying what he's saying, but hey, we'll be on the lookout for that. I'll move on to my next story. Interpol joins EFCC in 1.3 trillion CBEX probe. Now, the Economic Financial Crimes Commission has launched an investigation into the alleged 1.3 trillion perpetuated through the digital investment platforms, crypto bank exchange. Right? That's CBEX, operated by a group of foreign nationals in collaboration with their Nigerian partners, reportedly collapsed on Monday, leaving thousands of investors stranded. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale confirmed to The Punch that the commission would collaborate with the International Criminal Police Organization to investigate the incident. He said that the agency has already begun the investigation. And I saw some, interview on Channels, I believe it was on Channels Television, where they were saying that they will definitely get to the root of the transaction, and people's money would be recovered. I don't want to raise your hopes, right? Because anything with this, and first of all, because based on what we had yesterday, the conversation we had yesterday with my guest, how he broke down the, the structure or the technology required to be able to even trace that fund. So Interpol is good, but if they are not adopting the same technology that was used to set the platform up in the first place, then I doubt if they'll be able to then find, any headway. So quickly, a final story I'd like to take. Peter Obi, he says, I am compelled at this time in our lives as a nation to call on our retreating president's attention to the security challenges at home, which entails that he immediately suspend his ongoing retreat in a foreign land and come home to address the overwhelming security situation across the country. This urgent call has become necessary following the rising incidents of crime and criminalities all over Nigeria, with an apparent absence of governance. In the 2 weeks you have been away, over 150 Nigerians have lost their lives to insecurity across Nigeria, especially in Plateau and Zamfara states. The repeated pipeline explosion in Niger Delta further reflects a nation in distress. In the northeast, Boko Haram, Borno state leaders are bemoaning the return of insurgency, with troops and civilians being attacked, being killed randomly. In the southeast, the story is the same, killings and abduction. Amid all these, the CEO of the troubling company called Nigeria is retreating far away land in France from the company's headquarters. The primary duty of any government is securing lives and properties of its citizens, and one wonders the type of retreat going on in another country where peace has been secured by their own leaders, while blood continues to flow in our country. The fight for a better Nigeria is not about individuals. It's about ensuring that every citizen can see, feel, and benefit from the policies and decisions of those in power. I therefore like to urge Mr. President to quickly suspend whatever he's doing in France and rush home to take responsibility by addressing these disturbing issues. That is the new Nigeria that the nation seeks. He says a new Nigeria is possible, and this was signed by Peter Obi. Very quickly also, the online doctor also posted, it says, at Uromi 2 weeks ago, 16 people were killed. We were told humanity first. But in Plateau, 51 people killed 2 days ago. Now, it is humanity, silence everywhere. So, we will talk about the insecurity, especially Benue, Plateau, and some of the states that Peter Obi has raised. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m, so engage with us.
Talkback is not working. All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, the insecurity in Benue and Plateau State is a complex issue driven by various factors, such as ethnic and communal tensions, land disputes and competition for resources, banditry and armed robbery, terrorist activities and inadequate security infrastructure, and poor governance. The consequences of this insecurity are far-reaching, including loss of human lives and displacement of communities, economic instability and loss of livelihood, physiological or psychological trauma, and fear among citizens, erosion of trust in government and security agencies. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had already given a marching order to Plateau State Governor Caleb Muftwag to summon the necessary political will to resolve the crisis in the state and establish enduring peace. In neighboring states, Plateau State, over 100 people have been killed in the last 2 weeks when bloodthirsty marauders unleashed mayhem on the communities in the Boko and Bassa local government areas of Plateau State. 7 persons were confirmed killed by these people, while unspecified persons were wounded with many houses burnt. So I would love to have my guest, I don't know if he's here with me, but Emmanuel would join me. He's a security expert and also the executive director of Elixir Trust Foundation. He will join me to discuss this. I don't know if we have him now. Do we have Emmanuel? Okay, so I'll take a short break. When I come back from that break, we'll try to see if we can get Emmanuel. Stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to a future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. All right, thanks for staying with us. Our guest, unfortunately, is somewhere, so and I believe the network is really bad. So I will just try to take on the conversation until he's able to join in. So I'd like to go back to Peter Obi's post, where he talked about the president and how, you can't be running a company and certain things are out of place and you're still far away. So I have two things to say. Whilst he's correct that your house is burning, you have to come back home to deal with it. It then also exposes the problem that we have in this country, where companies are supposed to be run. If Nigeria is now regarded as a company, Nigeria is supposed to be run on, with systems and structures. That if it means that whatever it is, one person, right, should not determine whether the country is functioning well or not. So while I understand Peter Obi's call for the president to come back from his retreat in France, then I somehow want to beg to disagree that he doesn't need to be here for Nigeria to function. If we had a system in place, if we had a structure in place, Nigeria would function seamlessly without having to have him, overseeing the affairs of, because literally, what will he come and do? If he comes, he's just going to sit down in Aso Rock there and be making decisions. It's not like he's going to go to the areas where this insurgency is on the rise. He's not going to go there. He's not going to go and pick up the arms. He's not going to do anything to solve the problem. So I like the fact that you're calling his attention to it, but beyond that, it just shows that we do not have a system. There's no structure in Nigeria. And that is what is most painful for me, right? if we want to even look into the causes of this insecurity that is going on right now, people have called it ethnic and communal tensions. I did a video when the Uromi thing happened. I said it, go on my TikTok, you'll see the amount of hateful comments talking about retaliation, because I told you then that the Muslims, they were fasting at that point. And usually when they fast, they take a break from a lot of things. And I said it that it will be important that state governors be on a high alert, because once the fast is over, it's very likely that you might start to see certain kinds of reprisal attacks, right? Only God knows if this is one of them. But some have, they've said that it is ethnic and communal tensions. Historical, facts would show that over the years, there are lots of tensions, and when it comes to different kinds of communities, right? And this might be part of the factor that is contributing to some of these, this unrest or this insecurity that we're facing in the state. It's just sad. I saw a video on Ali Baba's page where a young man went to Kenya and he was doing a video and showing how ranches are being operated. I mean, when you travel abroad, when I travel abroad, I love to go on road trips, very long road trips. So either I'm in a train in the UK or in France, or I'm driving in the US on the road. So you then get to appreciate how the systems are being run there. We still have a very, yes, you might call it, but this nomadic style of herding, it is affecting a lot of things, because that is what evil people are hiding under. So then, because you cannot stop a herdsman from taking his livestock to go and graze, right? But we've seen that over the years, in the guise of herdsmen, a lot of people go into different communities unchecked. And these people have turned out to be evil people perpetrating all sorts of evil. I think we have our guest now. Let me add Emmanuel to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining me. Emmanuel, are you there? Is he there? Hello? Okay, we'll try to still connect with him. Oh, sugar. Some have also attributed these insecurities or the causes of all these issues, right, for, they said land disputes, competition for resources, grazing, you know, farmlands, you know, mineral resources, right? Because now a lot of accusations and counter-accusations are flying all over the place that whilst these insurgencies are happening, whilst these people are being displaced from their communities, somebody is going somewhere to take possession of their mineral resources and exporting it out of the country. It is painful when you hear what is going on in Nigeria. It is very painful. And that's why I say I understand Peter Obi's call for the president to come back. But what is most painful for me is the fact that till date, we still haven't had a structure that checkmates this evil. Because let me tell you something about evil. Everybody has a tendency to commit a crime. The only difference between what is going on in some parts of the world and other parts of the world is the fact that some people have put a system that even if your head is not correct, by fire, by thunder, your head will be correct, because there is, you understand, a check. There is a system that checkmates your evil intention. More causes for this insecurity: banditry and armed robbery. Plain and simple. Banditry and armed robbery. Because as it is right now, people just want to commit crime. They've seen how kidnapping, armed robbery, and all of these things are lucrative in this country. So they are robbing communities, robbing them of everything, just to be able to enrich a few. That is why we have some of these insecurities, some of these issues that we're having in these areas. Plain terrorist activities also. Because whether you like it or not, we must admit that we have presence of, terrorists terrorist groups, especially international terrorist groups, they have come to camp in this country. And we have kept quiet over the years, and it has made them grow bigger. And when you have a population that is not working, right, a young population that is jobless, and they've told them that haram, Boko Haram, school is a crime, and all of that, what do you think happens? Right? They become easy recruits for this terrorist group. The final one I'm going to touch on, poor governance, right? Before we go on a break. Poor governance. At the bed or the foundation of all of these crises that we're seeing is the fact that we have a very poor governance system in Nigeria, right? Very poor. Nobody checks, because look at what the NSA, National Security Advisor, Nuru Ribado, is saying. You will deploy more, you will deploy. So the ones that have been deployed, what has happened to those ones? Right? Nobody checks these people. A lot of people have become billionaires just by the mere fact that insecurity exists in this country. Who is checking? Nobody's monitoring it. There's poor governance that is happening all across all levels of government. And this is not just pointing a finger to one head. And like I said, if the infrastructure does not accommodate, a system that can thrive on its own, they were just at the brink of collapse. If you are running a company and without you, that company cannot survive, that is not a thing to rejoice about. It's a thing to be sad about, because what if tomorrow you become incapacitated? What happens to that company? Does it mean that the company, the vision, everything dies? It's a systemic problem that we have in this country. We have inadequate infrastructure for security. Corruption is on the all-time high. And I've said before, lack of accountability. You deploy money to this, security chiefs. Go and solve this problem. You give them weapons, you give them ammunition and all of that. Who is checking? Who is checking? Let me try our guest again before I go on the break. Emmanuel, are you there? Emmanuel, are you there? Okay, I think I can hear something now. Emmanuel, can you hear me? If you can hear me. Hello? The network is really, really horrible today. Let's go on a short break, right? When we come back from that break, we'll share more insight on the conversation. Stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
This season on Heartlands, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlands, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance. All right, thank you for staying tuned. Now, if you just tuned in, the conversation is insecurity, and we're calling for a state of emergency on Benue and Plateau. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone lines are also now open. The numbers to call are 0702507 25007749 or 07014242420. Send us an add me on WhatsApp. We can also add you via video. So before we went on a break, right, I was just talking about some of the reasons we have insecurity, why it's prevalent in this country. And sadly, that's our reality, right? And it remains so. But I think we want to try to see if we can connect with our guest again. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, praise God. All right, so tell me what's your entire assessment of this state of insecurity right now that is going on, especially the hotbeds right now is Plateau and what's it called, Benue State. What is going on?
So the first thing, when you look at the situation in both states, you are looking at the political will first, the interest from the federal, and then the relationship between neighboring states. So that has been one of the issues that over time has maybe worsened the situation. So there have been killings in the states, in Benue State, for example, since 2015 till date. The federal government have not paid attention to it, not that they are not aware till date. Plateau has been on and off also till date. No interest, and you cannot see any situation where certain persons have been arrested and been prosecuted for crimes in the state. So if you are looking at the situation, you are looking at the failure of security agencies in the area in policing the community, because they are either part of or further supporting criminals, or else there should be one or two persons that at least should have been arrested at one time or the other and being brought to book.
Over the years.
You don't see those cases.
You know, this Plateau situation, sorry to cut you, right? This Plateau situation, you know, when I believe I was going to secondary school. Oh yeah, I was in JSS2 going on to JSS3. So at that point, I wanted to transfer schools to Command Secondary School Jos, right?
Yes.
So I went for entrance exams, and this is very, very far, you know, a long time ago. And you see, this Jos thing started like a joke. It started with, because normally when we are leaving Kaduna, because I was born and raised in Kaduna, when we live in Kaduna, we take a road trip all the way to Jos. It started like a joke. It now became like you cannot ply the road at certain times. So you must ensure that you time your journey, because at some point there's a particular junction where these Fulani herdsmen will come out and attack commuters, and you know, sometimes they even unalive them and all of that. It was like a joke. It was just okay on roads. Road became unsafe to travel. How we then turned into just going directly into different communities over these years, unchecked, unstopped, is what is baffling me. And yet, we have a president in this country that will declare a state of emergency over something I consider personal issues than national concerns. People are being unalived. Hundreds of people are being unalived. So at what point do we now see this as an emergency to then say, you know what, this is war against insecurity?
For me, it's long overdue. And when you value the lives of your citizen, I think it shouldn't be something that we should have been playing lip service, or those in public office should have been playing lip service up till date. 100% die, you try to say it's among political actors. If you want 50% die, you claim it's farmer-herder clashes. But meanwhile, farmers or people are living in their farmlands, or should I say in their homes. Somebody comes from somewhere, or people come from somewhere, armed, not with cattle, to kill them, and you are saying it's still farmer-herder clashes. And these persons take over their lands. They are living in those lands. The military they are aware of this, and they are not going there to drive these persons back to their location or arrest them for the criminal activities that they have engaged by either killing or collecting or looting the crops and all that of people that are living in those areas. So when you look at the situation, even if you are calling a state of emergency, it's still same law enforcement officers that you'll be working with. Most of these locations you pass during daytime, you see security agencies on the road, officers collecting money from every vehicle that passes. That is just the worst thing now happening all over the country. But the basic and primary work they should do, which is security of lives and property, you hardly see them doing it. How can people that should be protecting you all of a sudden become predators? How should they feel so confident and so okay and everything is fine? And they feel at home, knowing fully well that areas where they are or they are working, criminals are in charge, to the point that you have to negotiate with criminals to go to your farm. Wives are being raped daily. Children are being killed and burnt. So the first thing, the political will, the willingness that you want to address this concern. So those occupying public office have been saying, if you are more concerned about looting and all that, then you shouldn't have any place in leading us. Because this type of leaders we have, they are only killing us. That is why when people die, they pay little or no attention to it.
So let me take a few comments that I found on YouTube. Somebody says it's unfortunate that crime is not punished in Nigeria, hence its perpetuation in different forms. Then Promise also said, that was from Ati, Promise says it's really disheartening that Nigeria has turned to a place where terrorists feel safe to do as they please. It's a shame. So you see, when you're talking about political will, Emmanuel, over the years, we have seen that there is no political will to end insecurity in this country. Yeah. So what do we do as a people? Because you see, if we left it to the politicians, right, and our crop of leaders that we have, it doesn't look like, or it doesn't seem like they truly want this insecurity to end. Because obviously, some people are benefiting from these transactions, right? Because as you displace these people, I hear that Benue is also blessed with a lot of mineral resources. So the more all of these things are happening, the more somebody is going into their lands to take away their mineral resources without wanting to go through due process. Because if you went through a proper process of extracting minerals from the land, it means that the community gets a good chunk of it for development and what's it called, and progress of their community. The government gets, everybody gets, right? But now a crop of people continue to cause instability, continue to displace people from their homes so that they can continue to take advantage of the resources that they have in those regions. And we are all comfortable guising it under, what's it called, headsmen clash. guising it under, what's it called, Boko Haram and terrorism. They are playing, these people have turned insecurity as a financial, what's it called, cash cow.
Yeah.
And we are quiet about it. So if these leaders refuse to have the political will to do what is needful, what are we supposed to do as citizens?
There are a couple of things that I believe we can do. The first one is trying to, we have a faulty criminal system here that is not working, but we have to find a way around it. The first thing is, you know that people occupying public office are not happy when you flag up or put out there issues of the failure of their government. So work with the media to flag up these issues there. So when it's out there in public, they are forced to act on it. So that can be one, because most of these areas where there have been killings, they have been reporting on this situation. And most of the media houses are being owned by the government. So they control whatever goes out. And if you release something that is kind of putting the government in bad light, they tend to sanction you. So there is need also for people to, since we have now social media handles, we should all learn to flag it. Secondly, those occupying, representing us at the level of the state houses of assembly and federal houses of assembly, we should follow up with them. We just few months or weeks ago, I think we're hearing cases of recalling and all that. We can also play that card, but at the same time, make them realize that we have collectively given them right to represent us, but if they fail us, they'll be replaced. At the same time, mandate those representing us at the various houses of assembly, be it at the state, at the national, to make laws that criminalize anybody or any person occupying elective position that fails to use budgetary allocation for the good of the state. So such persons are the aspiration of your state. Laws should be made to ensure that such persons have life imprisonment. And if to an extent that works, then we have started sieving out the chaff. And at the same time also, communities, before it reached out to certain local governments or certain rural areas, communities were defending themselves. And I feel communities should also try to work with the chiefs to be able to defend. If this can also be done, it also to an extent that would be like a first-hand or first-aid
We're having troubles with Emmanuel. You see, these things he's saying.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, Emmanuel, can you hear me? Because I was just going to ask you that when you talk about all of these rules that you are saying that they should put in place, the people that are supposed to create these laws, right? Are they not the same people that are there? The people that are supposed to create these laws, right? Are they not the same people that are there?
Hello, I'm not hearing you.
Okay, Emmanuel, additional security personnel, military officers, that is a solution. Because it's not because we need more security personnel to be there, right? The challenge is the people, there's no willpower to even trace the source of this thing. If there is a problem with a tree, you do not go to the branches or the leaves to say you want to start solving